If you're looking for a really high output tail switch light and you don't want to break the bank, the M2T Warrior is a fantastic option for you guys. At 1200 lumens, it can run off of two CR123s or an 18650 battery, and these guys are 40% off only tomorrow, December 17th, from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's talk. Let's go ahead and get into this brand new M2T Warrior. You can see here it has our new type of packaging where it's just a nice clean white box with the outline of the light there in the middle. On this side talks about the 5-year warranty. That's always great to see. And then some applications you can use it for here, like hunting, law enforcement, things like that. On the back here it shows some specs, but we will get into that here in a minute. But let's go ahead and unbox this. So all you have to do is just open up this little tab here. No need for a knife on these. When you open this up, it says right here, there's a little readme, and it says, before first use, please unscrew the tail cap and take off the insulating film. There is a little piece of film that's in between the tail cap and the battery to make sure it doesn't turn on when we ship it. So we'll go ahead and take that out. But here's a little arrow here. So all we're gonna do is just slide this out. And then we're already right here at the light. You can also pop off the back here, and it does come with a nice little minimalist sheath here. You can fit on your belt here. This is Velcro, and really nice feature there. And that's pretty much all you need. This goes over how to change the modes, but we will go over that. And then this isn't a rechargeable light, so it's not going to come with a charging cable or anything like that, but it does come with two CR123s. So here's the little film here. You do want to remove that, and then we'll slide this out, and here are two CR123s in this nice little sleeve. The reason why this sleeve exists is because CR123A batteries are a smaller diameter than an 18650. So in order to make this light compatible with two CR123s and an 18650 is we make it where you put it in this little sleeve here, and then that makes it where the batteries don't rattle around if you happen to shake the light. Here is a larger view of the specifications. That's why I wanted to show it here on the user manual instead of the back of the box. But the specifications here are going to be different based on the battery that you are using. So if you're using a high discharge 18650, then these are going to be your specs down here. But if you're just going to use two regular old CR123s like what come in the light, here are your specs here. So with the higher voltage 18650, you're going to get to that 1200 lumen turbo mode. And then with the CR123, it's just going to go up to 900. After 3 minutes, they are both going to drop down to 600 lumens just to keep the light cooler so it doesn't burn your hand. And that will last for 130 minutes here with the 18650 and 85 minutes with the CR123s. High mode with the 18650 is 600 lumens, medium to 50. There's a second medium there that is 60. The low mode is 15 lumens, and then you have that 1 lumen moonlight mode. For the two CR123s here on the top, you have a high of 400, medium of 60, low of 15, and then a moonlight of 1. At the 1200 lumens with the 18650, you're going to get 195 meter beam distance, and then with the CR123s it'll be 165 meters, and then it also shows the beam distances based on what lumen setting that you're at, which I think is very, very cool. So please definitely take a look at this. Pause your video if you need to, but this is a very in-depth look at what the light can do, and especially based on what battery that is in the light. Let's now take a look at the light itself. It's got some really nice looking machining here in the middle, and some really fine vertical machining here on the tail cap. Hopefully you can see that. It also has a placement area for the pocket clip on either the back or the front. What's really nice about this is how the clip comes, and it is a dual direction clip, but if I pull it off and put it on this way, then look at that. You have a super deep carry bezel down situation going on there, which is by far, I think, the best way to carry this. okay? And then we'll take a look at the UI here real quick. So you do have a side switch here with a low battery indicator in the middle and a tail switch here. Now, if you want to use the side switch, it's pretty much like a typical S series light. So you just turn it on and then you just hold it down to cycle through low, medium, and high. And then you can double tap to get to that higher turbo mode. And that's pretty much how that works, okay? If you want to go to strobe, you just do a triple tap on the side switch here. And then if you want to get to that moonlight, all you do is you hold the switch down from off, and then that'll give you that nice little moonlight mode. Now you can actually lock this out as well. So if I turn the light on from holding it and just keep holding down, it will actually lock itself out. And now when I hit the switch, the little indicator will turn on for a couple seconds there, letting me know that the light is locked out. I would definitely do this if you're gonna just keep it in a backpack or something like that. That way it won't accidentally turn on in your pack. But to turn this back on, all you do is just hold it down from that locked out mode. And then of course you see here, we're back to that moonlight mode, and then you can hold it down from there and start cycling through your standard modes. So you can go through all of the different modes using only the side switch if you want to use it this way. If you're walking the dog or something like that, maybe you don't need to have it in a fist grip, and then it can feel just like a standard regular civilian light. But we do also have tactical capabilities here if you want to use it in a fist grip, especially for law enforcement and occupations like that. So what we're going to do is basically you have a momentary. So all you do is just a nice little half press there, and then when you let go, the light turns off. If you do a full click and you feel that click, it'll be a constant on. Now, what you can do, and the reason why I said this is a dual capability tail switch, is because not only do you have momentary half press and then click for constant, but you can do a deep press where you press harder in, and that gives you a strobe, and then when you let go, that turns off. So you have a momentary regular, a constant on, and then a momentary strobe, all based on what you do with your finger. Whether you do a half press and let go, if you do a full click, or if you do a deep press and let go. So this is a really awesome way to manipulate the light with one hand without having to do a whole bunch of different things. If you're using a tail switch, the only things that you want is a constant on, momentary on, or a strobe, and you can easily get to all three of those modes just based on how you press the tail switch, which I think is a genius UI. At only $42 during the flash sale on December 17th from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this is an absolute steal of a deal. Works fine with 2 CRs, of course, which is what it comes with, but you can definitely use any type of 18650 that you want. It easily will work. The dual direction pocket clip makes it perfect for a deep carry, or you can put it on a hat if you would like. The low battery indicator, standard functionality with the side switch, and then the 3 mode changing here with the tail switch is really great as well. This is an absolute no-brainer if you want to have the ability to have a tail switch, but also be able to use it just like a standard regular flashlight as well. And I'm telling you guys, at only $42, this is an absolute steal of a deal. Let's do a quick size comparison here with the M2T. So it's here on the bottom, M2R right here, M1X right here, and the Warrior X here as well. You can see that they're all pretty close in length. We found that this is a great length for an 18650 compatible light. And also it's really nice to hold. You can get a good purchase on it, but it's not too long for pocket carry. But you can definitely see how these 3 right here have a much smaller bezel than the Warrior X, which is primarily meant for throwing. The M2T is a little bit shorter than the M2R and the M1X, mostly because of the way that the tail cap is configured on the M2R, and then also this one has the striker bezel here on the M1X, which of course makes that one a little bit longer. Now let's go ahead and do a beam comparison of all 4 of these, and you can see the differences and make up your mind on which one you think is the best. Let's take a look at a quick beam comparison between the M2T and of course a couple other tactical tail switch offerings that we have. So here on the right side, I have the M2T, and then of course on the right, we gotta look at the M2R. So let's go ahead and shine this up. And you can see first glance that the M2R has a much warmer beam than the M2T. But in terms of spread and the way that the beam actually looks, physically looks, they're extremely similar. The hot spots are around the same size. And in terms of brightness, they're pretty similar as well. But just know that the M2T has a much more cooler looking beam than the M2R. So I'll let you just kind of check that out for a minute. Please pause the video if you need to get a better look at this. Okay, and then there's the, that's the M2R. I'm gonna go ahead and put up the M1X here on the left. Another really popular tail switch light. I'd say that these are probably the most similar because they both have rubber tail switches. But you can see the hot spot of the M1X is definitely smaller than it is on the M2T. And then also the M1X is even cooler of a white than the M2T. So yeah, I'd say the M1X is definitely the coolest white beam, and then the M2T, and then the M2R after that. Let's go ahead and also, now that we have them, take a look at the Warrior X here on the left. Now this one is definitely more of a thrower light, so obviously it's gonna have a more concentrated hot spot. It is a brighter light as well, so you can see that this is a little bit more focused, a little heavier looking here on the left. But again, the M2T is still a more cool white than the Warrior X. Thank you guys for taking a look at the M2T Warrior with me today. As you guys can see, this is an absolutely fantastic tactical light that's going to be able to work with you for years and years on end. Definitely pick one of these up starting tomorrow, December 17th, and it only goes from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please set your alarm because you only have 2 hours to score one of these guys for a little over 40 bucks. Thanks a lot, guys. Subscribe to the channel, like this video to show us some support, and we'll see you guys on the next one.